Hello and welcome to Inside the Dam podcast, episode 1, here on the Minot State University campus, where we showcase student athletes and coaches in and around the Minot State campus grounds. And we got a great show for you today, guys. We're going to be welcoming Megan Norris as our first guest from the MSU women's hockey team. Nick Merillana from the cross-country track and field team will be the second segment. And then hopefully later on we'll get Sarah Upton from the MSU women's soccer team. But without further ado, she's one of the hardest working players on the team, personally, in my opinion. On the women's hockey team, they just got done playing a weekend exhibition series against Northern Alberta. Joining us now, forward Megan Norris. Megan, thank you for making some time today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
So tell us the story of how Megan Norris at Minot State came to be.
Well, it's my senior year now, so this will be my third year here. I transferred from Lindenwood University, and it's been a great 3 years, and I can't wait for my final season.
Yeah, and we're really looking forward to it. I mean, like you said, or like I said, you guys just got done with the exhibition series against Northern Alberta. We'll get more into that later on. Excuse me. But just talk about your experience at MSU. Again, you didn't start right away, but still some added longevity here at Minot.
Yeah, no, I love the community here and the athletics in school here. It's a really tight community. A lot of people come out to our games just from the community and support us. And there's lots of stuff at the school here that's great with athletics and our team and our coaches. It's a good family we have here in Minot.
No, I agree with you right there. And, just talking more about yourself a little bit, what style of game do you bring to MSU? One of those hard-working forwards, just kind of expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think I bring a lot of hard work and grit to the game. And I think some of those younger players on our team look up to me. And I feel like it's my duty to work as hard as I can every shift, every practice, every game. And my goal is to bring offensive game.
Yeah, good stuff there. And, really, you mentioned players having to look up to you. When you were just getting started, were there any players that you yourself looked up to, or were there any professional athletes that you follow? Was there, kind of expand on that a little bit? What do you think of some role models, per se?
Well, here at Minot, Haley Wickham, our ex-captain, she's now graduated. I always looked up to her when I got here from the start, so yeah.
No, she was a wonderful captain. Obviously, like you said, she's graduated and, kind of played a great two-way game, honestly. And, she brought a little scoring touch as well. Talking about the coaching staff a little bit here, what has Coach Miner meant to you? And he's been here for a while. So how has he been for you? How has he been for your teammates?
Miner is a great coach. I think he's always pushed me to be the best player I can be. And I think he makes the team, come as one. Yeah, I think he pushes us all to work the hardest we can. And he's made it, being in Minot, a great experience.
For sure. And, he has that experience as a player, so he knows the game really well. And, that's a really nice compliment there. And, just talk about the experience that you guys had the chance hosting the ACHA National Tournament. Just talk about that a little bit. How ecstatic were you guys? How ecstatic was the coaching staff for this endeavor?
Well, that was the first time I think they've hosted it, and that was 2 years ago. And it was a great experience. I mean, it wasn't the outcome we wanted, but it was awesome to play at home ice for the national championship.
Oh, yeah, and there were a lot of fans there. I mean, the sponsors everywhere. It was just amazing. I mean, being able to compete against some of the high-end competition inside, the conference, really, how much do they push you guys to really be at your best, really perform at such a peak performance?
All the hard work we put in all year long. Our season is basically the whole year, so we don't really have an off season. So we work hard all year long to wait for that national tournament at the end of the year. And just to host that in Minot was a great experience.
Yeah, wonderful. And, you guys just started up a new season here not too long ago on the Mesa Ice Service. There's an exhibition series against Northern Alberta. Just kind of talk a little bit about that. Obviously not the results you guys were looking for, but, Northern Alberta, they brought it. What kind of experience does this series bring to you guys? Kind of really get your feet wet a little bit in, a tough matchup early on, kind of get that out of the way.
I think it was a great way to start our season. They were a great team. They were aggressive, they were fast, they were big, and I think that was a good way to start. It made us work hard, and that'll probably be like one of our toughest opponents this year, so I think it was a good way to start.
Oh yeah, I agree right there. And going on to the full season now that the exhibition series is out of the way, I think you kind of expanded on this a little bit, but expectations for the team coming into this brand new season. Obviously, ACHA National Tournament appearance has to be up there again. What are your thoughts on that?
I think we just have to take it game by game. This weekend we start with Maryville, and that will be the beginning of our regular season. And I think it starts with these two games right here. Every game on its own. We have to win every individual one to get to where we want to be at the end. Awesome.
Yeah, good start there for sure. And, talk a little bit about maybe some of the new teams on the schedule, like Jamestown. What about them is intriguing? Obviously, I believe it's their first year, correct?
Yep.
What makes Jamestown, being able to finally have a women's club, be able to come into the fold? What's that going to look like? What are your expectations with that, and maybe some of the other new teams around the division?
Yeah, I don't really know exactly what to expect out of Jamestown yet, but it will be nice to get a lot of games in that are close, which we've never had. So it'll be good to have that matchup. They're all freshmen coming in, I think. All very new girls, but it should be good.
I think it'll be good as well. And, just looking at the men's side of things, they just got done completing a weekend sweep of the University of Jamestown Jimmies. How fun are those games, going to see the men's team play and, kind of maybe taking some pointers from them? Do they get some pointers from you guys? How do you guys, is there a little collaboration with the team? Talk about just the experience overall, going to see, the other side of things, watching from the stands.
I feel like with how much we play them and how much the men's team plays them, you build a rivalry against the team since you play them so much. So I think that will bring great competition.
I think it definitely is. It showed on the ice too. It definitely shows a lot of rivalry, a lot of heatedness on the ice there for sure. And again, guys, you're listening to the Inside the Dam podcast. This is episode 1. First segment, we have Megan Norris from the MSU women's hockey team. Megan, talk about transfer to Minot State. Talk about some of that Lindenwood experience. What kind of led up to the moment that you were going to be in the Magic City?
I decided I want to transfer. They have a great hockey program here and a good program for my school. And the biggest thing was the coaches, I think. They really made me want to come all the way to North Dakota to live in the Magic City and play hockey here and go to school. And I think it was a great decision.
And we're certainly happy to have you here. And, we wish you the best of luck this season. And real quickly here, we're almost out of time, but how much?
A little bit.
Little bit? Okay. So you're named after a trophy in the NHL, the Norris Trophy. How cool is to be named after that? And, how did you end up becoming a forward from that situation? I should clarify also, the Norris Trophy is for the NHL Defenseman of the Year, and you somehow became a forward. How did that come to be?
Yeah, I think I've just always been a forward my whole life. Since I started playing hockey when I was 4 years old. Yeah, always liked the offensive side more of the game.
Yeah, don't blame you. But, that's That's all we have, Megan. Again, thank you for making some time today, and we appreciate it. And thank you. Good luck on the new season. We wish you the best of luck.
Yes, thank you.
We're going to take a break real quick. We're going to have Dante join us here with Nick Merillana from the cross country track and field team. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to Inside the Dam.
All right, welcome back to Inside the Dam, brought to you by Papa John's, their special two-topping $7.99 pizza. I'm joined by Nick Merillana, cross-country track and field athlete here at Minot State. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Good. How's the semester treating you?
Oh, it's been going pretty good. A little hectic, but just, enjoying my time out here. Third year. It's starting my third year out here.
Good stuff. All right, Nick, you placed 15th at the Roy Griak Invitational. That's a huge meet for cross country. Can you kind of walk me through that? You ran 25:55, over a 2-minute PR on an extremely hilly up and down course. Can you just kind of walk me through it? That race comes out. Most people don't know, but cross country, especially that race, it starts out really wide, and then it funnels down pretty quick. So you got to get out fast, and most of the time it sends you out pretty fast. So walk me through that first 2 miles.
Yeah, so the whole game plan was just to get out hard. Like you said, it's a really roller coaster of a race. So we had a nice little downhill going into it. About 400 people just really converging on one point, and going towards the first little 800-meter split. I tried to find myself out in the front, following Jacob, our usual team leader, and we were just, trying to make ourselves get ahead of the pack so that we didn't get flushed back. And that was really the game plan for the first 2 miles.
Gotcha. So after the first 2 miles, you guys start to settle in a little bit. Is you and Jacob are basically running the race together at this point?
So he's still a little ahead of me. I was actually about 5 to 10 seconds back with the lead or the chase pack.
Okay, gotcha. So what point did you start to catch Jacob and then eventually pass him?
It was about the halfway point. Around 4,000 meters.
Okay, around 4,000. And then after that, you propelled into the top 20. Walk me through that last 3K of the race and kind of what that was like, being in the top dog part of the race, and how much that pain was, and what kind of brought you into that final uphill finish there you had.
Yeah, so that last 3,000 meters, I would say I had went back a little bit in my placing, but the whole goal was top 15, top 20. I wanted one of those T-shirts that they were giving out, and that's always one of the fun things about cross country is it's just gritty. There was a lot of guys who finished ahead of me that really wanted it more, and that last 3,000 meters, I really let my mind go out, and it was just all heart, all heart and all gut.
Good stuff. Okay, so that was a huge race for you. I know you kind of had a little bit of a dry spell leading back to your JUCO. What did this race mean to you to really kind of get a breakout race and propel hopefully the rest of your season?
Oh, it was awesome. Like you said, it was about almost 2.5 minutes faster than I ran the first time around. So just seeing that was amazing. Every race that, it's only my third race, but every race this season has always felt like my best race. And, it's just very encouraging as a runner. I had a few years of not so great running, and a lot of times where I thought maybe it was time to hang up
any sign of stopping, setting records and placements, and what has changed for the culture, and what has changed for you guys just as a whole as a team?
I would say, it's just a lot of the new people that we've brought in, a lot of new energy. That's one of the good things about having a young team is freshmen are really hyped and ready to go, not really too sure what's to happen, but, they're just all all heart, and I think that's really brought the vibe. A lot of us returners just want to leave that bad stain that Minot cross country has had in the past of being sort of an afterthought. And Jacob, Trent, and I, even Grayson, we're really just trying to get out there and make a pave a way for these young guys so that they can be proud to rep these uniforms that we get, and they're such an awesome experience to get out there and compete with these good teams. So it's good to finally get some respect from them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there any young guys on the team that you're kind of excited to look back on the team once you graduate and see them racing when they're juniors and seniors?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of people out there ready to hunt. Charlie Hardcastle, definitely one of those guys who's really hungry. I remember we were at team camp and he told me, he's like, Nick, I want to be our 5th guy. He goes, I know it's going to be hard, and you guys really motivate me to want to be up there with you. And it's things like that just push us to want to leave that better trail and leave an impact on this team.
Absolutely. What are practices looking like for you guys, with you and Jacob really just kind of propelling you guys forward? But what are long runs kind of looking like, where you guys or intervals and stuff where you guys are really just duking it out, but working together in those instances?
Oh, in those workouts, long runs, for me, I'm always thinking about the bigger picture, regionals, potentially nationals. He at first, when we started training together, it was always like, just sit back, follow the lead. But now I realize that, for all of us to get better, it takes that, duking it out, pushing it every now and again. And especially when it comes to shorter intervals or the end, I like to give Jacob a little bit of a competition. And sometimes if needed, I'll have him start a little bit behind me just so he has someone to really chase him down.
Absolutely. That's great. Love to hear it. Let's see here. So what kind of goals do you have yourself for the rest of the season?
Okay, so for this season, a big goal of mine is just making the national meet. It's something that I've always wanted to do as a collegiate athlete, and going into this year, it's something that I realized I can make happen if I just stay dedicated to it. And, one of the big things about that is, I don't want to just get there by myself. It'd be awesome to be there with Jacob or Trent, possibly if we can get a few more guys there, but it's all about just, setting that bar, not just for myself, but for everybody else.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you guys race this Friday in Jamestown. What should we kind of expect out of you guys? I know that the meet's gotten a lot bigger in the past few years. I think you told me 13 teams are going to be there. So what is that looking like?
Well, if you asked Camden right now what the goal was, I'm pretty sure he'd say win. And, I think that's an awesome goal. It's never a bad thing for guys to be hungry. And, with the competition there, it's always going to be tough. But we were able to pull off a second place at Moorhead, just behind NDSU, a Division I team. So, I see no reason why we can't, put all our chips out there. And, if everyone just bounces back from GRIAC, we could, at least top 3. But I could see us taking that win.
Absolutely. So I know you guys were kind of actually upset with how you guys raced at GRIAC. Most people who've watched Minot State cross country in the past wouldn't know that by looking at your guys' results, placing 4th in NSIC teams and what was it, 9th overall.
Yeah.
That's huge. I know for you guys. So that's awesome to see that you guys are very unsatisfied with a finish like that, and to see what you guys can possibly do. And then I know you guys are hyper focused on this season, but any excitement towards indoor track and field and track coming out after the new year?
Oh yeah, it's always one thing that I like to tell, especially our young people. When whatever you build in cross country is going to really show off in track. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm a track guy, I'm a track person. Like, I just want to get down and run flats. But, building this strength, especially for me over the summer, I got to run with a lot of my buddies back home, just trail running all the time. And I think that was one of the things that played a big factor running at GRIAC. It was just so familiar to what I had been doing over training. And so, running, it's fast, and I think just potentially more national meet appearances there.
Oh, absolutely! I love to hear it. So what? So you're California local or native. What is it like training in the heat and then coming back out here as our cross country season is a lot colder than you guys have to deal with?
Oh yeah, it's really tough. Especially my first few years here, acclimating wasn't the best for me. But just I think it's trying to just be prepared and mentally prepare yourself. There's a lot of people who are born here in the Midwest and are used to it, but when you get out there and race, you're all in the same conditions, and if you got to prepare with gloves or a beanie, then you got to do what you got to do. But they they hand out awards and they send people to nationals based on one race in November, so got to be prepared regardless of the weather.
Well, good stuff, Nick. We're really honored to have you on the show, and we're excited for what Minot State Cross Country has for the future. And you guys have really been the season to propel you guys into everybody's attention. I looked at your guys' rankings earlier. You guys were not ranked going into the season, and I know at one point you guys were ranked 8th regionally, and I know you guys are going to get back on that list, the top 10 list here pretty soon, hopefully after Jamestown this week. So, Nick, thank you so much for joining us here on Inside the Dam. And I think up next we have a soccer player coming in to interview with Alex. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Inside the Dam.
So here with me is Sarah Upton with the Minot State soccer team. The soccer team has been on a hot streak with a 2-game sweep. Sarah, tell me a little bit about the soccer team so far. You guys had a good season.
Yeah, we have. This last weekend, we won both our games, came away with 6 points against Northern and Moorhead. And it feels like it's really coming together lately. Getting into the season, we, figuring ourselves out, and then we just kept progressively getting better and stronger. And here we are 9 games deep into season, winning or tying 7 of them, I believe. And so, we're just keep getting up and up with those stepping stones.
Yeah, so you guys have kind of a new coach this year. Tell me a little bit about that. That must have been quite interesting for you guys.
It was definitely a surprise hearing that Chris Clements was no longer going to be our head coach, but it was definitely a safety net knowing that we still had TJ, a very familiar face, still staying with us in the program. I definitely think if our whole coaching staff would have left, that would have been a major setback and kind of so close before season was the thing. But TJ has definitely stepped up and really taken that head coach role and, helped us through this whole season. I mean, we're doing really good, and I was definitely so glad that he's still here.
Yeah, that's awesome for you guys. So the incoming freshmen, there's a couple on the starting lineup. Are those your old coach recruits? How is that team chemistry working with TJ having to step up in the head coach position?
I really don't think anything's changed. Chris also created such an amazing platform of team culture for us that we've carried it ourselves now. He has, Chris's first year was my first year, and so we have, I think, 3 years of recruits coming in under Chris, so they all know what his culture and what his base is about, and I just think it's naturally kept and it's naturally formed to what it is now. And even with TJ being head coach, nothing's really changed. We still have that team culture and that mindset, and TJ just keeps carrying it. And the freshmen have adapted great. I mean, they just keep getting more and more confident with every game, which is so awesome to see. But no, it's been really good with the freshmen joining in.
That's awesome. And I've seen a couple of games, and you can totally tell on the field you guys know each other really well. You connect pretty well. So talk to me a little bit more about your team chemistry. Like I said, you can see it on the field as a viewer. So how is it like being on the field with those other girls?
Honestly, this year has been an amazing year for team chemistry. Like, even on the field, it's been really good. We are doing really well communicating, and we do have those freshmen that I think with more experience, they'll get louder on the field and communicate more, which is going to be really exciting. But the on-field chemistry is just great. Like, this group of girls has really been something different, and even with, a coaching, staff mix-up or new head coach, sort of new, it's still been really, really good. And even off the field, we really get along super well, and it's really great to have just a group of friends and sisters. It's fun.
Yeah, for sure. So I do want to talk a little bit about the Nsic Tournament. I know it's quite far away, but you guys did make it last year.
Yep.
I don't want to jinx anything, but what do you think about that?
I am very confident in our team's abilities. We have a point system, so we have 7 more points that we need to get to kind of secure a spot. Granted, things can change with how other teams do, but as of now, our goal is getting those definite 7 points and getting into the tournament. But no, we're definitely confident. And right now, we've, I think we're halfway or just over halfway of a season. And so we're headstrong on it. There's no turning back now. We're definitely determined. And, I know I'm confident we're getting into that tournament, and we'll see how far we go from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super exciting. Tell me a little bit about the point system. I'm not really sure how that works.
So it's 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, and 0 points for a loss. So, and a new rule this season is there's no overtime for regular season. So that means there's been a lot more ties.
Okay.
So a lot more single points. So that's kind of been interesting, not playing overtime. But overall, it's still kind of the same thing. We've only had, I believe, 2 ties this season.
So definitely looking good for you guys. That's so exciting. So obviously, you're an athlete, but tell me a little bit about the student life for you. You are a redshirt junior, correct?
Yes.
So what's your major? What's it like being a student at Minot State, not just an athlete?
I am a bio major with a chem minor, and so it's busy. Especially
I bet.
during season, during fall, is a lot of times, it's the heavy classes are unavoidable with my route. But it's definitely a balance. During fall season, the only thing you're doing is school and soccer. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way because it's fall season and it's only 4 short months. But I love it. I also love the classroom, so it makes things a lot easier for me just to enjoy the grind.
Yeah.
But it's been good. Just busy, getting it done, but good.
So, what are your hobbies outside of soccer?
Hiking. That's about it.
That's fun.
Yeah, going and exploring, I guess. There's a lot of wildlife refuges around here that I've been to. Other than that, really not much.
That's fun. Hiking. I have not been hiking before.
Really?
Yeah. So, that's fun. So, you come from Thousand Oaks, California.
Yes.
So what got you here to Minot State? That's pretty far.
Southern California to Minot, North Dakota was definitely a change. Especially coastal California is where I'm from. But honestly, it sounds bad, but it was a very last-minute decision.
Oh, yeah?
It was kind of just a decision of, well, I know that I'm gonna be playing soccer in college, so this is it. You know, I really wanted to stay in California,
Mm-hmm.
but the schools in California are just unbelievably expensive.
Oh, I
I couldn't do that. So this was kind of my super last minute too, actually. My last game and my last showcase of my club career and high school career is when Chris
Wow.
Clements recruited me at that tournament, and I was like,
late.
okay, why not? Let's see where we go.
Well, hey, it worked out.
I know this has been, the best 3.5, 4 years of my life.
That's awesome. So, like you said, soccer player, student athlete, biology major, you've got all these things going for you. What do you see yourself doing after all of this is over?
The transition from an athlete to, I would say, a normal life is definitely going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I plan on working with some sort of forestry service. So I'm still going to be out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still going to be out and about outside, just researching. That's what I'm doing right now. I do research with my professor in the biology department.
That's awesome.
And so I'm just hoping to continue that outside.
Yeah, still doing the things you love.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure. I love
Yeah, of
talking to
course.
you. Hopefully we see you back sometime.
Yeah, of course. It was good to be here.
This was the Inside the Dam podcast. It is brought to you by Papa John's with a $7.99 large 2-topping pizza special. And that is all for tonight. Thank you.